And we're off. Okay. Hopefully you won't have to sit through too many videos with me. Hopefully, we'll be here live. Once in a while, I may do this just to reinforce something we did in class. But in general, it's not what we'll be doing this semester. But again, for the class for September 8th, since I am not going to be here, we are going to put this video on Moodle for you so that you can keep up to date, and we keep moving along because we want to get through the whole process ASAP, the whole writing process. We're going to talk about top 5 of the writing process tonight. We've already talked about pre-writing. You've done that, which is idea gathering. You've written a rough draft, which means getting to it, taking those ideas that you put in your idea gathering and sentencing them out as quickly as possible, okay? We've talked about a first revision where you said, does it say anything? Am I communicating? Okay, do I have specifics? Do I have details? We've talked about all of that stuff. And then we've gone on to a second revision where we've said, is everything a sentence? Are we using grammatically complete sentences? Are we punctuating correctly? Are we spelling correctly? Are we doing all that nitty-gritty stuff that can make writing hard? But if you've followed the whole process, you already have so much down now that really this is almost an editing step, okay? Which makes it a whole lot easier. I told you from the beginning, write on every other line, and so writing on every other line makes the second revision a lot easier for a lot of people, okay? So keep in mind, I want you to write on every other line all the time. Okay, so what is the final step all about? What is finally doing your polishing, okay? Because we've done a first draft, a rough draft, a first revision, an editing or second revision, same thing, editing, second revision, and now we're polishing. Okay. In class last week, we talked a little bit about combining sentences, and that leads us toward this last step. The fifth step involves a couple of things that aren't terribly difficult, but they take some concentration. So here's what you do. First of all, count the number of words you have in each of your sentences. Not each line, but in each sentence, okay? And in the margin, write those numbers, So maybe your first sentence has 12 words, put a 12 in the margin. And maybe your second sentence has 8 words, put an 8 in the margin. And maybe your third sentence has 18 words, put an 18 in the margin, okay? Etc. All the way through your entire paper, okay? There is no good or bad for length, okay? But here's what's important. You want a variety in your length. So you want some sentences that are medium, you want some sentences that are a little longer, some sentences that are a little shorter, and let me tell you why. If you have short sentence after short sentence after short sentence, your reader tends to read faster and faster and faster, okay? And when they read faster and faster, they end up too often hopping over details, okay? If you write sentence after sentence after sentence that's long, say 15 words or more, 14 words or more. So, maybe you have a sentence that's 14 and the next one is 16 and the next one is 15 and the next one is 18. Sentences get long like that. It's hard for people to concentrate. You want them to be able to concentrate. So long sentence after long sentence after long sentence makes it difficult for somebody to concentrate. Okay, and if you have all the same length sentence, all of them maybe 12, 13 words, 11 words, 14 words, if they're all in that same kind of pattern, people get sing-songy when they read it, almost like they're reading a nursery rhyme. And you don't want that to happen either. You don't want people to get caught up in you don't want that to happen. You want people to continue to pay attention all the way through. So as you look through the numbers, you want to see, okay, if you have 2 that have close numbers in a row, 2 in a row that have close numbers, that's okay. When you get to 3 in a row that have close numbers, it's time to change some sentence length. You can combine sentences to make them longer. You can cut sentences apart to make them shorter. You can do various things. You want to make sure that everything that you write is a grammatically complete sentence, as we talked about in class on September 1, okay? But you want a variety of different lengths in your sentences, okay? So, again, make those numbers, count the words in each sentence, look at your numbers. If you have a bunch in a row, and when I say a bunch, I mean 3 or more in a row where the numbers are pretty close to each other, then you need to do some work on it. And, so you may have 3 that are in the 12, 13, 14 range, and then another 3 that are in the 8, 9, 10 range. Change those, okay? Change those lengths so that nowhere do you have 3 sentences of approximately the same length near each other. Break them down or build them up, but have a variety of sentence lengths, okay? So that's part 1 of your final polishing. Part 2 of your final polishing is to look at the individual words. You should not be repeating important words in your sentences, okay, in your essays, for all essays, not just this one, but for all of them. So if you're talking about the colors in this room, and I happen to be sitting in this room when I'm making this video, okay, if you're talking about colors, then don't refer to, the word color, and then again the word color, and the word color. Say, use color one time, and hue another time, H-U-E, and another synonym for color a third time. Keep changing, okay? Don't repeat words, okay? Or, I don't know, this room from where I'm sitting right now looks kind of green, or maybe greenish, greenish yellow or something, or beigey, I don't know. But don't just say beige, say beige, off-white, tan. Use different terms so that you're not repeating words, okay? If you're talking about the setup of the desks, or the setup of the tables, don't use the word tables over and over again. Say, that you can say, okay, there are 3, tables that are put together to form a U shape in the room, and the first platform is across the back, and the other 2 come out from, that kind of thing, so that you are using a variety of words. You're not repeating words. Sure, you're going to repeat words like the, such, but in general, you're not supposed to repeat words in a piece of writing. So in this final edition of your essay, make sure you're not repeating words, and make sure you're putting a variety into your sentences. We talked about all the other things previously, so this is kind of the time for your final check on all those other things. Questions, comments, text me, email me, call me, okay? And I'm willing to work with you on this. Have a good one.